order whenever you're ready.
Yeah, let me get a traditional wings and things, nuclear.
Alright, with what to drink?
Sweet tea to drink.
Traditional wings and things nuclear with the sweet tea, anything else?
That is all.
Alright, it's going to be $10.59, thank you.
Thank you. So what's up, YouTube? It's a beautiful day in the A. The ice is gone off the road, so I can actually drive my car the way I want to without having to worry about all these idiots that can't drive in snow, as if I can drive in snow. I'm off work for a few days, so I figured why not make an upload. So today, y'all, what I want to talk about is what made me choose the E92 M3 out of all the other cars I could have chosen. So before I go into it, first thing I want to say is I had a few stipulations going into this purchase. So my budget was about $50,000. I was willing to go up to about $60,000 if I felt like the car was worth it. But I wanted to stay around $50,000 or less. So my top contenders ended up being, and keep in mind I looked at literally probably every car on the planet. It ended up being between the E92 M3, the last generation C63, the 2015 was the S550 Mustang GT, the new Camaro SS, and the Lexus ISF. Now, the Lexus ISF is the only sedan on this list, and I was only considering it because at the time I had my Camry for daily purposes, and I was planning on getting a coupe. However, the Lexus ISF I felt like offered the reliability of my Camry with similar performance to the other cars I was looking at, so I was willing to trade in my Camry and just consolidate to one car. So those are my choices. The first one I want to talk about is why I didn't go with the consolidation to the ISF. And basically what it came down to was that I wanted a separate performance car. I wanted something that, like, okay, I could drive this back and forth to work, but any other time I can hop in this and go to the track or just go have fun or do whatever I wanted to do. So that's what it came down to on that end as far as consolidation. I still look at the ISF though because I feel like it's a really good car. I trust Toyota. I know they make a good product. But what kind of killed the ISF for me was that it didn't feel special enough. Like the other cars, when I drove them, they felt like they had an identity. The Lexus ISF to me felt like a really fast Toyota. I almost felt like I was in my Camry with much better performance. And that's not a bad thing per se, but it wasn't what I was looking for. It's a very good car. The transmission is a lot better than I expected it to be. Power is amazing. The torque is just enough. It's not overwhelming amounts of torque, but it has enough torque to where you feel that power, but it doesn't feel like it's gonna kill you at any moment. It sounds amazing with a nice exhaust system on it. I drove one that had a custom Borle exhaust. Sounded great. Loved it. And like I said, I love the fact that with the Lexus, you kind of just get in it, you drive it, and you don't think anything of it. But like I said, at the end of the day, it just didn't feel special. It wasn't what I was looking for. So that took me to the new Camaro, the 2016 Camaro SS. I drove it. Performance was amazing. The car was fast in a straight line. It handled way better than I expected it to. I mean, I had read the reviews on it and how it was supposed to beat the new M4 around the track and this, that, and the other. And I mean, I can believe it because the thing had some pretty amazing performance. But the issue I had with it, once again, like I keep mentioning throughout my videos, the interior just didn't feel good. And I felt like if I was willing to spend up to $50,000, $60,000 on a car, I shouldn't have to deal with touching something and it feeling cheap. Now, had the Camaro Z01 been out at the time, the new generation, that may have been a different story. I may have gone that route because the performance would have been worth it. Another issue I had with the Camaro was the transmission. I guess I could have gotten a manual to solve all those issues, but the automatic transmission was fast shifting, but it didn't feel top-notch. It didn't feel like this is the best they had to offer. It kind of felt like they kind of threw a transmission in there that was good enough. It wasn't something that was like, oh yeah, this is the best we got. This is our top-line performance car. It didn't feel like that. It felt like something that needed to be improved upon, and I didn't like that. I felt like it should have come out of the box feeling like something special, feeling like it was already turned up to 10. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't want something that felt like it was kind of toned down a little bit. That's kind of what it felt like to me. That's what the transmission felt like. It felt like it could have shifted faster, but it didn't. So I ended up not going to SS for those reasons. And then to the outside, the exterior look is nice, it's aggressive, but it just didn't fit me at the end of the day. I mean, I won't say it's ugly, I won't say it's, you know, anything other than not fitting for me. The next car I looked at was the 2015 Mustang GT. Me personally, if I had to choose between that Camaro SS and the Mustang GT, I may have gone with the Mustang GT for the simple fact that I like that more sleek look that it has. The Camaro SS is kind of in your face. It's really bold, it's aggressive looking. The new Mustang GT has a real smooth but retro look to it. And I feel like that fits me a little bit more than the Camaro does. That being said, for any of the average consumer, I think performance-wise, the Camaro blows the Mustang out of the water. Speaking of performance, that's kind of what killed the Mustang for me. Because while it was fast and it had the numbers to prove that it was fast, it didn't feel fast. What it felt was heavy. Like, literally, no matter how fast I went, no matter how many curves I took, no matter how composed it was, it felt heavy all the time. The interior was nice. I mean, I don't really have any complaints about the Mustang interior, to be honest with you. It wasn't a German interior in that it didn't have those touches and those feels, but it felt better than the Camaro interior to me. And for the price that you can get the Mustang GT for, I think I was looking at them for like 35, 37 grand. I wasn't mad at it. You know, it kind of is what it is. They had the Roush supercharger kit that you can put on there. You're talking about 700 horsepower. It's kind of hard to beat that. I mean, I honestly looked at the Mustang GT pretty hard. What it came down to that killed the Mustang GT for me was the back seat space. I actually took some friends with me and had them sit in the back seat while I was driving. Keep in mind, guys, I'm not the tallest guy on the planet. So if you can't fit behind me in the back seat of a car, then that tells you how limited the space is back there, because I don't take up much space up here and I don't drive, you know, sitting back in the back seat. So the back seat space was not a thing. I mean, nobody buys a coupe for the back seat, but it's convenient, because it's convenient to have your friends be able to hop in with you and y'all can just go enjoy the night together without having to drive your buddy's Avalon. The next car I ended up looking at was the C63, the last generation C63. Now that C63 was offered in sedan and coupe version. I ended up excluding the sedan because of the same reason I excluded the ISF. I wanted a separate car that was special, a separate performance car. But the coupe offered that to me. And I will be honest with you, that coupe almost took me away from the M3. Like, I almost went ahead and made that move because that coupe is just that good. That power is just so raw. It feels like a German muscle. Like, you know, you have American muscle, you have your German sports cars. That feels like a German muscle. It feels like it just wants to bash its way through the wall and just make its name known. It's like the Hulk of German cars in that category. And I liked it. I'm not gonna lie, it was a very fun car. I remember the test drive I did in one of them. I mean, man, I had gotten up to like 145 and didn't even realize it. It was a 507 edition. The thing sounded amazing. That startup roar of an AMG, I mentioned it before, I love it. It sounds like a cranky old man that you just woke up out of his sleep and he is not happy about it. And that's what I love about AMG. It's an amazing car. What kind of killed the AMG for me though? The exterior. Because in my opinion, I kind of feel like the E92 M3 is a timeless design, whereas I feel like the C63s of the older generation are already starting to look dated. While some may disagree, I mean, that was my opinion. I was spending the money, so that's what I thought. I kind of felt like if you see the old C63 and somebody pulls up beside you in an old C250, nobody knows the difference. Nobody cares. So it didn't look special to me. I mean, that wasn't a big determining factor, but it did make a difference. Whereas the E92 M3 has those big flares, it has that big hood. You know it's a little something different about that car when you see it, and I appreciate that. What ended up determining it all for me, though, was the transmission in the two cars. The AMG, while that transmission is good, and I've heard there are tunes to make it better, it's good on its own, But when you get to the point of trying to work the paddles and really make it do what you want it to do, the C63 paddles were not responsive enough. So I couldn't be mid-curve, flip the paddle, and drop back down again like I wanted to. Like sometimes it would, sometimes it wouldn't. Sometimes it would do it so late that I'm already out of the part of the turn that I wanted to be into when I did the downshift. E92 M3 is always on top of it. If I pull that paddle, it's going into the gears. It felt like a track car that could be driven on the street. Like I always tell people who don't really know about cars, I always just say, you know, it's basically a track car with AC. That's how I feel about it. I felt like it was something that BMW built to put on the track. Period. And that's what I wanted. I wanted something I could track, something I could take to work here and there, and that's what I was doing with it. I could take it to the track, I could take it to work, and I felt like it belonged there. That's what kind of killed the C63 for me, was that the C63 in pure track mode didn't feel like it belonged there. Granted, there are some tracks the C63 will beat the M3 on solely because of the increase in horsepower it has. And you know, it's a great performance car, don't get me wrong, but to me it didn't feel like it wanted to be on the track. It felt like it wanted to be beating up people on the highway, and that's fine because that's also enjoyable. But just for what I was looking for my purposes, the M3 seemed to fit the bill a little bit more. As far as other cars I looked at, I did throw the 335 into the mix. I'm not bashing the 335. I feel like in its range, it's unbeatable, but it didn't really live up to the same performance standards as the C63s, the M3s, the new Mustang, or the new Camaro. Simply because those cars have something special about them. To me, the 335 is special, but it's not as special as your M3s, C63s. And I mean, you can't really get that same V8 sound either. So guys, that's just a quick video of what it came down to me when I chose the E92 M3. I love the car. I feel like it's one of the best cars you can buy within the price range, especially if you check out our review on the E92 M3. Also, the things we hate about the E92 M3. It's a car that has its flaws, but for the money that you can get these cars for, I honestly feel like everybody who's into performance cars should genuinely consider the E92 M3. But don't get me mistaken. Anyone who's considering the E92 M3 should also consider the C63, as well as the new Camaro, the new Mustang, even the 335. I think all those should be taken into consideration because they all have their strengths in their own right. Anyway, y'all, this has been Calvin from NWD229, No Wheel Drive. Stay tuned. We got some more reviews coming, y'all. We're going to get some more content out with some more cars, some different things for y'all to look at. We just been kind of busy with work and everything else, life stuff. But stay tuned, y'all. Keep liking the videos. Keep commenting. Keep subscribing. We love y'all for that. Keep it coming. We got some more stuff coming for y'all. Stay tuned.
It's